Yeah.
Hello everybody, Dr. Mark here from Natural Health. Hope you're having a great day. Had a great day. We got through Monday again, so that's all good. We're talking about this month breathing and hydration and just having fun. We're going to talk about some important parts of that, which the importance of sea salt, really important so you can have fun. And the reason for that is, of course, the hydration, making sure you're hydrated and staying hydrated. And that's not just drinking water, and especially not drinking caffeinated drinks or sugary drinks or things like that. So I wanted to drink water, but you also wanted to make sure you get salt with that, or electrolytes. Now, electrolytes is a fancy name for salt. If you go to the store buy electrolytes, well, it's just basically salt, but it's fancy names so it costs more. So we find we can get by and do just as well with using sea salt or mineral salt. We'll talk more about those kinds here in a little bit. So we'll go right into this. Of course, I'm Dr. Mark here. We're at Natural Health, of course. And going on to 40 years, and the next coming up tomorrow, it's going to be 40 years going to practice and having all kind of fun. Lots of experiences and experience to talk about, and we help people out a lot, have a lot of fun. So I've been doing chiropractic and nutrition the whole time. I'm kind of turning most of my chiropractic duties over to Dr. Chip. He's very good at that, and so he's going to take over here in a little bit and talk about more fun things. But I'm going to go ahead and kind of blather on here a little bit about salt. It's one of my favorite topics because it's so simple. Salt is so simple for people to get a hold of and to work with, and we've been told not to have salt for so long. I have patients coming in here that absolutely will not eat salt unless I explain to them why it's important. And so sea salt is good for you. Yes, it's very good for you, of course, in moderation. We're talking about sea salt here. We're not talking about potato chip salt or corn kernel salt. That's the processed junk white salt. That can cause trouble, not only because of the poor quality salt, because most of the time it's on carbs and junk. And so that's why people have blood pressure problems. It's not due to the salt. Salt has been around forever. We've used it forever. It was used for money, even back in the Bible. It's talked about in the Bible all the time. Just all kinds of things that salt has been used for. But the premise that salt leads to hypertension has never been scientifically supported. So, and again, one thing I'm going to start off with too is that there's a big problem with just lumping salt into all salt. We're talking about sea salt, mineral salt. The other part that you need to be aware of is that most people think salt, they just think of table white salt. And that's processed sea salt or processed mineral salt. They take out all the minerals, sell that to the cow feed manufacturers, and then use just the sodium chloride for humans, which of course doesn't make sense, but that's what it's done. It looks real nice in the shaker. It's real nice and clean. Pours well. Well, that's some pour agents and things, but pouring agents. But anyway, the deal is that it's never been scientifically proven that sea salt, mineral salt, causes hypertension. It aids blood sugar control by improving insulin sensitivity. Again, getting your pH to work correctly. Salt normally is an acid. And so it's a slight acid. So it helps to control pH. It helps get the body to work towards more acid-alkaline balance. And that, of course, is going to help all the blood things work better. Not only insulin, but oxygen, carbon dioxide, all that kind of stuff, transport and things. It's a natural antihistamine. Again, helping the body to control inflammation. The body, usually by the pH factor going on there. Your body needs salt to maintain the proper stomach pH. Again, the sodium chloride, the chloride part, goes into making up the hydrochloric acid, which is stomach acid, but you have to have the right stomach acid for the stomach to work right. So if you don't have the right stomach acid, don't have stomach's not producing acid, then you'll have indigestion, gas, bloating, GERD, acid reflux. Pretty soon you're on a proton pump inhibitor, and you're using a medication to stop the body's ability to make stomach acid, which is great for pain or symptom relief, but it makes the problems all kind of worse, and you don't digest your food. It lends towards osteoporosis, osteopenia, those kind of things. So one point I want to make too as I go through this, we may talk about other things, but the problem with medication used to cover up vitamin deficiencies or vitamin mineral deficiencies. It's which really goes on all the time. Many of the symptoms, even like heart issues, can be B vitamin complex problems. So we use medication to force the body to do certain things, which is okay for certain short-term, emergency problems, but not long-term. But so again, many people have been on high blood pressure medication since they've been age 50 or whatever, for years and sometimes decades. Never fixed the underlying cause. So you still have high blood pressure, you're just controlling it. And that's not good. Salt improves sleep quality, again, by hydration, by water balance, by, again, this pH factor. The minerals in there help the body to calm down if it's a good quality sea salt, mineral salt. Adequate salt consumption encourages a healthy weight and fast metabolism. Again, you know, if you want to look into the history of salt, when they started using processed salt, it took out all the minerals, which included iodine. So then we had to throw some iodine back into it and call it iodized salt. Well, if you just use sea salt or mineral salt, that has iodine in it already, which helps the thyroid and helps with metabolism and weight loss or weight stability there. Supports thyroid function again by having iodine in the salt, in the sea salt, mineral salt, not the junk white salt, and supports hyperosmolarity of the extracellular fluid. What that means is if your ring constantly gets stuck on your finger, you can't get it back off, it's because you're retaining fluid in your extremities, extracellular fluids. So if you can, if you get the salt to work properly so that your kidneys are working correctly, well, that will not only help with the hyperosmolarity of the extracellular fluid, but it helps control blood pressure, reduces your blood pressure, because you're getting rid of the fluid. The kidneys have to have salt to work. If they don't have salt, they can't move water or very well. So then, of course, people are on a water pill. Well, that makes you deficient in potassium. That causes the heart to fibrillate. And then you're on a fibrillation pill. Blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on. For something as simple as not eating salt, not getting good quality sea salt, mineral salt. So it's kind of disgusting in a way if you think about it, how mainstream medicine is in this problem of just treating symptoms and not looking at causes. Adequate salt supports balanced hormones. Again, by all the things that minerals do with the enzymes, the proteins in the body, all the regulatory things that go on there, minerals are really important for that. Of course, it makes food taste good too. Now, the thing with that is the reason that it does that a lot too is because you're craving it. If you're craving the salt, if you're low on salt, your food's going to taste better with salt on it. Sometimes if your body doesn't need a lot of salt, it may not make it taste better, but most everybody it does make it taste better because we have a taste for sugar, salt, and fats in our tongue, in our body, and again the body needs that. It likes the salt, it wants salt, it needs a good carbs, carbohydrates, the sugars, as long as they're in a natural form, not in junk food and processed white flour, white sugar stuff. So that's important too. So what salt is best? So again, we're talking about sea salt. We use a brand called Celtic. We keep it here at the office. It looks like it's a dirty salt. So it's like kind of a brown, dirty salt. That's the minerals in there. If you find sea salt that's really the minerals out again. We saw that the other day. We were somewhere. It's been quite a while back. Well, I won't mention the name. I think it was maybe McCormick, but I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. So McCormick, Hahn, and Morton are not good sources of sea salt. They're usually processed. But it was a sea salt. It said it was a shaker. It was a grinder, and it said sea salt grinder on it. So you got a hold of that. Oh, great. A grinder. That's great. Well, the salt in it though was processed white salt, but the grinder, it was made in the point you couldn't get it back open to put anything else in it. So it's just things you really have to be aware of that these manufacturers are using the word salt against us. And of course, they don't care. As long as they're selling stuff, they don't care. The medical people don't care. They're making money on the whole deal. So, you know, but again, simply just getting good quality sea salt or mineral salt. The other one is Himalayan, the pink mineral salt. That's another good salt to get a hold of. And there's other sources of sea salt. You just got to make sure they're normally not ground. Normally they're kind of like chunky pieces and they look dirty, or they're colored like Himalayan pink sea salt or mineral salt. How much salt should I eat? Well, the average is a level teaspoon. Now, of course, if you're a smaller person, you won't need as much. If you're larger and outside sweating all day, you're going to need more. So that's just kind of an average, and we have ways of checking it in here. We have a great product called CalNano. It's a calcium salt that we use a lot to make sure that cerebrospinal fluid is working correctly. There's a check we use that internal nutrition response testing technique. I think that's about all for me. A couple of quick comments too, as with salt, I read an article, I posted it today, on vitamin B12, the lack of that. All these minerals and vitamins, when you have a deficiency in those, you have a lot of problem with symptoms. And the medical people have been chasing these symptoms forever. Again, I gave you some examples of, you're on a proton pump inhibitor, or pretty soon your adrenals are failing, you're on anxiety, depression, medications, all kinds of things going on here. But just eating salt, just some simple things that we can help with. And I think we're seeing a lot of times, especially with this COVID business, I saw looking through quite a few things today, that people are really waking up to the fact that, yes, mainstream medicine is great for trauma. If you have, broken leg or you're having a heart attack, by all means, they do great. But as far as health goes, I'm not talking about health, not disease management. We're talking about actually being healthy, being an optimum, being healthy and well. They don't really have a good answer for that. And that's where our alternative people come in, like us. We do we work with nutritional response testing, the technique to figure out what does your body need and try to get people actually healthy. Again, people that salt's going to help the immune system too. It's going to help the pH to work. It's going to have the minerals in there. Going to help the immune system to keep the viruses and bacteria and all this stuff working well too. So just something that's really important. And we have lots of information about salt here. We watch that all the time. Very particular about that. Because I just see problems with it all the time. Most everybody that comes in here is low on salt. So we have a lot of fun with that. So anyway, that's probably enough for me. Don't forget that we have a lot of these videos on what we do here at the office on our website at naturalhealthquincy.com. And also, we do free consultations too. A lot of people that have been around they want to trust those people. They want to trust the white coat. That just makes it real simple. They got insurance, so we're just going to trust the white coat and do that. But their outcomes are not very good. But they really don't understand. A lot of people know that things aren't working out right, but they just don't really understand or have an inkling of where to go. So we have our free consultations where we just talk to people and what conditions they have, what we can do to help them, what is possible there. And you can come to our office and it's nothing scary. There's no torture chambers here, those kind of things. So anyway, we're here to help any way we can because we know that there's a lot of problem with degenerative disease in this country and this COVID thing. I think that everybody's afraid. They just don't understand how immune systems work. And we have a very, very good working knowledge of immune systems. And I do a lot of study on this COVID thing. So having patients calling about the vaccines and different things, we're trying to get them informed. Media narratives. So we're here to help any way we can. So that's enough rambling. I will let Dr. Chip take over. Have a great evening and try to stay cool. Thanks.
Great. Well, so that was a lot of information there from Dr. Mark. So I'm going to keep this short and simple. I will have one slide here that we'll talk about, again, sea salt and why it is important for your overall health. And again, I'm Dr. Chip. And so again, I'm going to talk a little bit more about sea salt and how it's more important for the nervous system or your nervous system in general to help with the electrical activity of your body. Now I have a couple little pictures up here. Again, this is more of the neurons in our brains and bodies. I kind of want to get a picture of electrical impulses or some kind of electricity picture, and then water. And so again, with water, why I put this picture on here is because if you actually got distilled water, meaning that you took all the particles out of that water and you try to run electricity through that water, it would not be able to conduct that electricity from one end of the water to the other, which means is that there's no electrical impulses going through. Now our body is kind of, you could say, an electrical machine. There are nerve impulses being conducted through the body, from the brain to the body, and from the body to the brain constantly at the speed of light, you would say, in some instances. And so again, this is kind of pertaining to more of the communication from the organs to our brain, from our brain to the organs. And if we're not able to send electrical impulses well enough, then again, our bodies aren't able to function properly. And so again, when we're talking about it aids in electrical activity, now say you put sea salt in this water. and you try to run an electrical output through it, it would be able to conduct that electricity very well, very rapidly. And that's what our body is doing constantly, is that when it's hydrated very well and it has the right mineral and salt content in it, again, salt being sodium chloride, it's able to have ions, or you would say things that help the electrical input to travel through different little spaces or fluids or tissues or muscles or any nerves of the body. And so why, again, of course that's important, is because if our brain and bodies are not communicating properly, or they can't simply because we're not hydrated properly, the nerves can't actually conduct the right messages or messages clearly, then just like a Wi-Fi signal from your phone, if you don't have very many bars, you're not getting a very clear communication from, again, the source that you need the information. And so your brain is always talking to your body, and your body is always talking to your brain. And so you would say is that if that communication is hindered or somehow slower or less efficient, then those systems, the brain, for instance, or the body systems, are not able to function properly, leading to illness or dis-ease. Now, with sea salt, again, that's the sodium chloride plus the mineral content, then we're able to help our bodies in a safe, natural way to be able to get that natural electrical input going through the body once again. And again, like Dr. Mark explained, this is not table salt, again, just sodium chloride. This is sea salt. So a lot of times when we process different things in our environment, such as the foods that we eat, or the water that we drink, or anything in that nature, we are messing with, you would say, the natural forces here. And so when that happens, we think we're smarter than other things. Now, if we do not have the right mineral content, just fruit, for instance, fruit has very good mineral content in it. It's got sugar also, but again, it has a lot of the minerals to support and back that up, meaning that our bodies are able to actually digest it better, or actually able to handle it better. However, if you just had table sugar, white sugar, and you started eating that as much as you would, fruit in general, then your body is not able to handle that properly, and then your blood sugar or anything like that, it starts to rise because your body has to handle that differently. So that's why sea salt is important, is because not only are you getting the sodium and chloride content, meaning that it has the ability to send electrical input better, or output, but also the mineral content, helping our bodies to be able to digest it properly and be able to use it efficiently. And so that, again, is why sea salt is important for our health and our nervous systems, because our nervous systems are very important for all the functions that we do throughout the day, all the voluntary things that we do, such as moving our bodies and physical effort, or even the unconscious things that we do, such as digestion, sleep, all that too. And so again, that was just a quick little synopsis of why sea salt is important, and again, for our nervous system and well-being, but also too, as Dr. Mark really kind of implemented or said a lot already there too, so I hope you gained a lot of information there. Again, this is called To Health and Beyond. This is a little slide about Eddie, my brother, and I are working with a lot of different things. We've been in the health field for a long time. You've gained valuable information. So we wanted to share more value for other people that want to take more responsibility for their own health and well-being. And you can see that at tohealthandbeyond.com for more information. And again, that wraps it up for our health shop tonight. Again, you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Parler, Brighteon, and YouTube at Natural Health Quincy IL. You can subscribe to our email list. Our location is 2000 Jefferson Street, Quincy, Illinois. The phone number is 217-228-2040. The next health shop, or the next month here, is more about brain health and back to school. And I think the Next Health Shop is more about learning more about health and how we, even our kids, can really help ourselves and help them to really be able to function better and be more proactive and be able to perform better in their school and daily activities. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you gained some good information here. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful week. Thank you.